Hey guys, welcome to the Life on Purpose podcast. It's Ella and Ella from Grow with the Flow. Here we explore all things personal growth and self-discovery.
We hope to inspire you, empower you to explore your growth, and to remind you that you're never alone. So let's get right into it. Let's grow. Hey everyone! Welcome to the Life on Purpose podcast, hosted by Grow with the Flow, your gals here, Ella and Ella.
Welcome back, and if you're a new listener, welcome. We're excited to have you. If you are new to this space or if you've been around, we like to start our podcast by pulling a card. And this week we've actually decided to pull from a different deck. This one is called Karma Angels.
And I was shuffling before we started, and one, of course, like every single week popped out at me. And it's just for us to, if it's a message that we need to hear, if it's a message you need to hear today, just a nice little tidbit here. So the one that jumped out was number 13. He looks very majestic. But in the book, it says, safety in the journey. This angel, as is clear from the card image, protects us in travel, new ventures, and when leaving one situation for another, such as a new job, relationship, or home. The card suggests it is safe and beneficial time to travel, to make a change, or even just the way you think. All of these changes in your life are being blessed at this time. There is a challenge and a lesson for each card. The challenge is making the journey, and the lesson is accept that all the changes in your life have led you to the next one.
Oh my gosh. So if you've been listening to our podcast, we literally spoke about change last week and like getting out of your comfort zone and growing pains. So it feels very fitting.
Yeah, and we actually just booked travel today. It's so funny that it's like, you are safe to travel.
What a sign.
I love that. I love it. Number 13. But it's today. Oh, today's the 25th.
Close enough.
Close enough.
Yeah, so we just booked, we're very excited about this. We just booked our spots at the I Can Do It conference in Tampa in May. Very excited. It's the whole lineup of people that Ella and I have just been so inspired by from the beginning. Whether it be Mel Robbins, Gabby Bernstein's going to be there, Brendan Bouchard.
Yeah, there's a bunch of like keynotes where you're just sitting in the audience and watching the keynotes, and then there's full days of just different workshops that we'll be able to participate in, readings, and just finding your purpose.
It's just our love language.
Yeah.
Like, just never want to stop. We were laughing earlier because the days fill up pretty quick because you're going back to back from workshop to keynote. So some of the days are like 15, 16 hours. But I'm like, I can't picture myself spending my day any other way. Like that is, if you ask me what my ideal day is, it's all the people that are going to be there talking and sharing what they want to share.
I can't even, I'm so excited that it's like the Coachella of like personal development.
100%. That is like such a good analogy. And we were saying earlier, we're very grateful that we're in a position that we can do this, you know, and that it's relatively close to us. I mean, I would have gone the distance for this. I think I definitely would have.
Yeah, but it's only like an hour and a half flight from where we are. So, yeah, it's really exciting. It's going to be an awesome weekend. We'll definitely take our mic and do a little podcast while we're out there and keep you guys updated on stories and stuff. So come follow us on Instagram.
Yeah, we'll take you through the weekend for sure.
Yeah. And another little catch up is last week we launched our community, Grow with the Flow Club, which has been so cool. So many of you came over and joined, and we are just over the moon. Thank you so much. It's so awesome to have you guys there, and it's been really fun so far. So we have different things like challenges. This next 2 weeks, we're going to be doing the gratitude challenge. You can come and tell us what you're grateful for, and we can be there to encourage you and support you. And you can come out and ask questions, tell us what's inspiring you. We share affirmations and journal prompts, just all the things that we love talking about.
Yeah, it's been a really nice addition. Ella and I were really toying with the idea for so long, and what was the best way to create a community where we can be a little bit more engaged with you guys and intimate. And this is exactly what we had imagined. So we're really excited to see it grow and just really be in a space where we can hang out with you guys, because we feel what we feel most in our purpose when we're in that space and we're interacting with you guys and we're talking and we're learning and we're growing with you. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah, we'll have the link in the show notes for you guys to come and join. It's completely free, and we can't wait to meet you. So yeah, going into today's episode, we're going to talk about signs that you're already living your purpose. We are obsessed with purpose here at Grow with the Flow, and we always talk about living your purpose and finding your purpose. So today we thought it'd be a cool idea to give you some signs that maybe you already are living your purpose, and
which is amazing, and that's what we hope. We hope that you nod along to everything we say today. But if you're not, don't sweat it. There's a lot of us out there, and you're in the right place because we're going to help you with that.
Yes. So the first one is you are more willing to take risks. So this one's really funny because it's just kind of common sense when you really think about it. Like when you're not as stressed about something, you're just feeling more brave. If something isn't aligned with you, you wouldn't even think to like take the jump to even doing something. Mm-hmm. Like if, let's say as an example, you don't like extreme sports, you're obviously not going to want to get into a plane and jump out of a plane. Like that's just like, it's not that you're not brave, that's just not your thing.
Yeah.
So when you're like totally in alignment with something just makes sense to you like innately, you're more willing to take the risk on it.
Mm-hmm. That's such a good one. And it's so relevant, I feel like, to the stage we're at in our personal journey, is taking those risks. And we spoke about this in a few episodes ago about being in your comfort zone. So you kind of take these risks and get, you're back in that space, but you wouldn't be doing this if you didn't have that driving force. So our second point is you feel a sense of peace, whatever that feels like for you. You are just living in more flow with a bit more ease. You feel a sense of calm. Think about it this way. When you're happy or when you're doing something that you love, naturally, the emotion that comes with it is peace.
Yeah, 100%. If your life is chaotic and you're just jumping between one thing and the next thing and you don't even know where you're going and your head's spinning, you feel like you can't keep your head above water, you're probably not living your purpose or in your purpose.
Yeah.
It's just out of alignment, right? Like
totally.
When we feel at peace, that just means something is going right for us.
Right. It's like that sensation that something, you can't even, there's no words to describe it. I think I'm struggling to say the words because it just clicks. Mm-hmm. There's nothing else to it. And a lot of these points are, you might think, wow, that's pretty straightforward. But then when you try to put it into context and actually look at your life from bird's eye view, do these things actually, are they present in your life? So ask yourself, do I feel a sense of peace? When was the last time I felt peaceful?
Yeah.
It might not be that simple, or it might not be that apparent to you.
And you don't have to be sitting like cross-legged, just meditating to feel peace.
Right.
You could be doing something active and feel at peace. It's not a sense of like quiet and serene. Like you could be singing on stage as a rock star and be at peace with yourself.
Your peace is different from my peace.
Yeah.
It's just a feeling. It's an innate feeling.
Yeah. The third one is you gain energy from it. We always talk about energy givers and takers here. What is the last thing that you left feeling so lit up? Something that you watched or learned or heard somebody talk about, or something you were involved with, that you were just like, you go to your friend or you come home to your partner and you're like, and then you just can't stop talking about it. That is you following those breadcrumbs of what your purpose is here. And that's opposite as well. If you're leaving something that's making you feel depleted and you just come home and you're like, oh my gosh, like I need a good cry, I need to sleep for 12 hours, or I just feel agitated and I don't know why, that just is a sign that that's not in alignment with.
Big time. And sometimes I feel like the energy takers are louder than the givers, because the givers we tend to take for granted, or we just do them and we know that we feel good, and it's the takers that leave us feeling triggered or, like Ella said, exhausted. So whatever's louder to you and whatever's going to help you redirect the needle and point you in the right direction, listen to both of those cues. Yeah. They're huge indicators of what's giving you energy, and naturally what's giving you energy is connected to your purpose.
Yeah.
So our fourth point is time flies by. So whether you're physically doing something, you're learning something, you're with someone, the time spent doing this is like non-existent. So think about a traditional workday. If you're at work from 9 to 5, is time just passing by? Are you just like, how is it already 4 o'clock? We've only done this, or, you know, in the sense of being in a space where you're feeling excited, time just kind of
it's so true
passes by.
We all know that feeling where we're looking at the clock and the 1 minute feels like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I remember in high school, now that I look back, I'm like, that can't be true. Like, classes were only 40 minutes. Did you guys know that?
No.
Now 40 minutes goes by like a snap. It might be because I'm older too, but I look back, I'm like, I remember just watching the clock and it painstakingly going by. Or at my job, like in a corporate job that I used to have, just being like waiting for that lunch break so I could just feel like a little bit free.
But wouldn't you rather spend that 40 minutes doing something you love than 40 minutes of doing something that just doesn't bring you any joy? And this doesn't mean, obviously there's plenty of things in our lives that aren't as exciting as we'd like them to be. Like maybe accounting isn't your thing, but it just needs to be done. We're not talking about those. We're talking about that 40 minutes of time. If you had 40 minutes extra a day, what would you be filling it with?
Yeah.
Naturally, the stuff that you're excited about, that time is going to fly. 40 minutes is not enough. But when that 40 minutes is allocated to something that just doesn't get you lit up, it feels like 5 years.
Yeah.
I am now 10 years older.
It's so true. And we always love to refer to our purpose being connected to those little kids we used to be and what were we doing then. And it's, remember when you were a kid and your mom's like, you have 5 more minutes, and you're like, I'll die if I want to keep doing this. The sun has gone down, you haven't had a sip of water in like 12 hours. Though that's the thing that is connected to your purpose.
Yep. It's all about those breadcrumbs. And it's not as obvious as this is your purpose. I think that's the message that we're going to try to continue to convey is there's so many pieces of the puzzle that when you actually take the time to look at them, it makes it a bit more clear, and it might become a clear picture for you.
Yeah, because you might be like, I was catching butterflies in the backyard. How is that my purpose? When like time was flying by, but one
just
day it'll click. Okay, and the last one is it feels very familiar to you. I think sometimes we think there's the thing that we need to do or this gift that we need to have is something that it's like this big mountain that we need to climb. But what are those things that feel familiar to you that just come second nature? That's what your gift is. It doesn't have to feel hard. It doesn't have to feel resistant. With me, I can get very caught up with, well, of course, everybody knows how to do that. Or, oh, that's like the most obvious thing. That's not adding any value. When it's, no, everybody doesn't know that. It just comes so naturally to me that I'm taking it for granted, essentially. Or I'm not realizing that that's what my true gift really is, like what I'm here to do. So I really like that one because that one can like fly under the radar.
1,000,000%. And that's exactly like what Ella said, is it's something that comes so natural to you that you overlook it. And it's funny because this is actually an exercise I enjoy for getting through to something like this, is asking people that you're close to gifts that they see in you or some traits. How would they describe you? It's a way to get the juices flowing and to observe these things that you overlook in yourself, right? So I obviously possess certain qualities that for me are so natural that I wouldn't even think of them as a gift, and vice versa with Ella. So sometimes it's nice to have somebody that you trust and that you respect to bounce these ideas off of or just talk about them, because the qualities that Ella has, to me, in my mind, that's an incredible gift. I couldn't do that, but in her mind, it might be so natural that you overlook it. So that's definitely, familiar feeling is huge. So yeah, guys, we just love to share these little tidbits with you. This is pretty much the inside scoop on our conversations on the daily. And we just wanted to do a little episode to remind you that you're on the right path. And if it doesn't seem like it right now, you could actually take these 5 tips and kind of break them down even more and maybe journal on them or explore where you are at on each of those 5 points. We'll leave everything in the show notes below. And as usual, we would love it if you could share this episode or the podcast with a friend. Tag us in your stories, write a review, tag us on Instagram, Anything is so greatly appreciated, and it helps us reach more of you. And yeah, it just really helps us with our purpose, and it makes us so happy.
Yeah, totally. We'll see you guys next week. We're so excited. And come join the community.
Bye, guys.
Bye.